Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. I have tutorials on how a puppet is built and how it works, all the parts of it, going through a blank puppet. But I haven't actually made one where it's completely from scratch without this rig going on, and people seem to be asking a lot for that specifically. So I'm just going to make one from scratch again. So all you need to do is these body parts need a sculpt for the connectors to work. So let's make a short one and another sculpt which is long. So then we'll just arrange them and then we'll wire them up. So if we rotate that like that, so that's like the toe, that's the lower leg, this is the heel, like that, and then the upper leg, and the pelvis, like that. And then we got something similar going on for the, we got the chest, and the belly and the chest, and then the arms, which would be a bit longer maybe, and you can refer to the puppet to remember what parts you need. A neck, which is really tall, and a head, and those are the body parts you need. And now we connect them up from the pelvis out. So we get a ball joint. It doesn't really matter what joint you use, but it must be a joint. So these are like linear joints, and these are like rotational joints. So you need a ball joint or a bolt, basically, for each of these, and they'll just behave differently. So normally, like knees are bolts, but it doesn't really matter just for getting it working. But you can change these easily anyway by tweaking them. And you can change them to a bolt, and then say, I want it to be that angle, and have like these limits and so on. But I'll just leave them all as bolts for now, and then add some more bolts. That's to the heel, and then heel to the toe. Just move that back a bit. Cool. So now it's all going to flop about and stuff. We can make it small. And then we need to put it inside one of these special objects. So this is a puppet object, and it just has stuff in it. And it's not particularly special in any way. It just has stuff in it. So we can delete all the stuff in it and grab our stuff. So because this is just separate objects, you've got to double click on the parent, the root of it all, and we went from the pelvis out, remember? So if we double click on that with X, then we've selected everything in that network of connectors. Then we can hover over the puppet object and use L1 and X to scope in, and we've taken in the thing that we were holding. And now we'll just put that on the base. That's kind of where it thinks the ground will be. So if you put the feet near the base, then it will be able to kind of pick that up and automatically animate stuff for you. Okay, so it's still freaking out because it's not being, the position and everything isn't controlled by the puppet. So then we tweak the puppet and go to the body structure tab, and then we start linking up the body parts. So X on the pelvis, X on the pelvis, on the belly, on the chest, and so on. And this is how we are telling Dreams what body parts these are, and then Dreams will know how to control them properly. And it requires, you can't just have a hand and an upper arm and a chest. You have to have the pelvis, the belly, the chest, upper arm, lower arm, hand, for that hand to work. If you didn't need that hand to work like that, then you don't have to link these up. Everything else will work just fine. And then we go down like that. heel and toe. And you can do these in a funny order, but it just won't all light up until it's actually connected and linked back to the pelvis. So people tend to do it in the right order, and then they can make sure they're doing it right as they go. If you hover over these, you can actually see what they're linked to. They start flashing green, so that will help you kind of fix problems. Cool, so now if we play time, it already has like a little bit of movement and like a jumpy kind of animation while it's in the air, and then it kind of catches itself on the ground. The knees are kind of, one of them's working right and the other one's pointing the wrong way. So if we make those bolts like we said earlier, then you can say the range that this knee is allowed to move, sort of thing, and then we can try that on there as well. Did that work? Yeah, I think that worked. So that, yeah, that should be at the bottom, because we want it to rotate that way, and then like have a limit of that maybe. So start it at the bottom. There we go. Now it's not twitching and freaking out, because it's actually allowed to bend its knees. Anywho, so that's like how to make a puppet, and the sound effects and stuff will still work because it knows when it's controlling the animation of the foot. So it knows when the foot is hitting the ground, so then it can play the right sound still, and it all works fine. Oh yeah, the final part I forgot to say is that you make everything in the puppet non-collidable. This is so that when you're running around, if like you run past a rock and then this sword is snagged by a rock, and then you keep running, it's not like trailing behind you and your whole arm is exploding and stuff like that. So it's usually better for everything inside here to be non-collidable. Yeah, that's something to be aware of. Like, so I selected all these things and tweaked one of them, and this was a sculpture. So I could tweak all the sculptures using this one window. But then this isn't a sculpture, this is a group, and select everything and make sure that's non-collidable as well. And this is also a group, so these should be made non-collidable. Yeah, this is going to be the next art kit. It's priority block face. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.